And do you guys,
Oh, no.
you guys remember at the end of the movie? They're like, he's holding a knife to his face. You wouldn't want anything to happen to this, and he cuts his own face to ruin it. And then he shoots him with a trident.
Mm-hmm. Like a harpoon trident.
Yeah, there it is, a harpoon. Yeah.
All right.
Just a fantastic series of movies, I tell you. That's his golden age of Nicolas Cage.
Let me.
Yeah.
Unless you want to count his revival as Ghost Rider, I'll allow it.
The first one.
Yeah, just the first one.
All right.
What we got here.
Here we go. Oh, I have to download this? Is this going to be
I'm not. I don't trust that.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. Damn it. Let me see if I can just, like...
Katie Stubbled Face Transplant.
Is that her name? Stubbled Face?
Save.
I'm just going to Google real life face off. How about that?
That might work.
But it's funny because Steven's right before...
This guy just looks like Snoke.
Nicolas Cage had his run of movies. That's when Steven Seagal had his run of movies. And as soon as he got done doing Under Siege 2, that's when Nicolas Cage did his 3 good movies. So they went in a wave.
That's awesome. It's just, I think for me, Nicolas Cage movies were right at the peak of me being like 10, 11 years old. And it's like, this is the best.
Like, you actually grew up with those movies.
Yeah. It's probably like my first rated R movie.
It's like, it's either that or Bad Boys.
There you go. That's a real face transplant.
Or Independence Day. That's still bad on the...
Whoa, what?
God, that's like Humpty Dumpty.
You say it's bad. I think it's a success.
What is that?
They just... I'm just like so... it's so funny that they're trying to make it in the movie that they can do a perfect face swap without any drawbacks.
Imagining the one on the right being the Nicolas Cage in the movie.
The one on the left looks like she's got some like sausage links for fucking facial features.
If you take the extinct dodo bird and punch his beak in its fucking face, that is the face I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at a can of biscuits busted open on somebody's face.
Busted biscuits.
Well, I'm trying
almost. Where her nose is, it almost looks like 2 female legs and then the vagina area.
Oh, it does.
If you look at it kind of sideways.
No,
I guess that little hole is her nose that she breathes from.
What does it say? What happened to her?
She got hit by
like is she born that way?
I think she was born that way.
That's unfortunate.
Before her face transplant.
What chromosome does that? Just like, hey, we're gonna like do this now.
The face chromosome.
All right.
God, that's all. I don't want to see that. That's
X and Y.
Delete that from the goddamn. I don't even want to see that next week when I scroll on this fucking thing.
There you go.
When I look back at what we did, I'll bring that up.
What did you find, Thomas? Did you find something?
No. I took it off the thing.
All right, so, so Chris, you're probably gonna go down and say that Nicolas Cage is your favorite.
Yes, I think for the era, it was me growing up at the time. It just happened to be. I was too young for Steven Seagal. I think. I mean, I saw it later. God, this guy looks
Steven
like
Seagal was good with Under Siege.
That's his top movie, I think.
Yeah. That's the one I remember watching the most.
Is it the one that comes on AMC all the time?
Yeah.
It's either that one or the second one where he's on the train.
I think the action movie I watched the most as a kid, I had on VHS, was Speed.
Yes.
I'll rewatch that movie constantly.
You know, I did watch Speed. It was like actually, that's probably the first rated R movie.
Because it didn't have anything sexual in it. It was all
but it was just
violence.
Like Speed was so successful that the second one was PG-13.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Never thought of it that way.
This is Nicolas Cage's O-Face.
Man, I'm freaking just reading through Under Siege again, and I really do love that movie when I see it.
It's a good movie.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Wait, what?
What is this?
This is Nicolas Cage's O-Face.
What is that, dude? I didn't want to see that. Don't ruin him for me.
The top one, when he's on the top, it looks like Tim Burton.
It does. It's a bad thing.
Oh, man.
Let's see.
Oh,
Is that in claymation?
the left one though. The left one is just Nicolas Cage face in general.
That's after Avenger. That's when he bought his Tyrannosaurus Rex skeleton. He did that.
That's the face you make when
T-Rex.
when
T-Rex.
that's the face you make when the IRS comes after taxes on your castle.
Yeah.
You know,
You
Tim.
go, oh, I forgot to pay him.
You're right though. Tim Burton
you-
does look a lot like Nicolas Cage, and vice versa. Let me post this. Let you guys.
Maybe we should do a face-off with Christian.
Just face swap that picture. It's the same goddamn person.
That is the same person. Take that scrubbly ass hair off of his forehead, and that's goddamn Nicolas Cage.
Tim Burton is Nicolas Cage.
As they both got older, they morphed into the same person.
All right.
I'm just looking at stupid stuff now.
Oh, I'm just thinking of Face Off in the style of Tim Burton, and that would be an amazing movie.
I have your face. You have my face. Now we will fight each other.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, well, wouldn't that just be Edward Scissorhands?
What the fuck is that?
There's a strong possibility it would be.
Because that's what Edward Scissorhands was. He was.
He was a machine that he turned into a man.
Well,
Is that what it was? Was he a machine?
Yeah, he was a machine that
It's been so long since I've seen
He built
it.
him.
yes.
I just remember him putting his hands in the waterbed and like screwing it up.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Yeah.
He did the waterbed, and he cut the kid's face up by accident, and then he started to do hair and shrubs.
And he tried to get freaky with the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he did. Maybe
didn't
like
he? Didn't he
maybe
scratch
like
the
that.
daughter all up?
Maybe like
And
that
that was,
freaky
like, a big
fish
deal?
water movie.
Shape of Water.
Maybe it was all Shape of Water, but we just didn't see that part. I honestly don't think Edward Scissorhands had a dick.
Yeah, he did.
I don't either. No, he was like strapped in bondage. He was a kid.
No, it was like
Yeah.
one of them, like those brushes that have the round head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it was.
Let me see if I can find an Edward
Oh,
Scissorhand
my God.
penis.
I
No,
think we got off the rails just
Yeah,
a
let's
bit.
get,
just a
we need to
little
get
bit.
back onto the action movies.
Yeah, let's get back to action movies instead of...
I mean-
you're going to type in Edward Scissorhands. It's going to bring up Edward Penis Hands.
I just put in Edward Scissorhands penis. That's all. Edward
Yeah.
Scissor.
Or
That-
hands.
that's all.
So you're saying to do Edward Scissor penis.
No, Edward... Don't do Edward Penis Hands.
Edward penis hands.
It's just a bunch of dildos instead of scissors.
Oh, so you know about this?
It's a porno.
Oh, is it?
my God. It did.
Yeah.
It,
Huh,
just,
there's
it just
plot
says my
holes.
ass itches.
I'm just looking at plot holes. How did he urinate exactly?
That's I'm
Right.
just looking at. Wait till you see this. I'm gonna get it over to you
no.
guys. It's a pretty funny meme. He's just got
All
dicks
right.
for hands, and then it's a close up of his face, and it says "My ass itches."
Okay.
There
Yeah,
you go.
okay.
He's
Gotcha.
recording still,
what is that?
dude.
Okay, so
No,
Edward Decision Hands.
My ass itches. You can't scratch it.
my favorite, which I'm not actually going to talk about right off the bat, but my favorite is Kurt Russell.
Okay.
that's a good
Kurt
one.
Russell's just like I feel like he's like that all-American baseball player. Arnold's not really all-American baseball player style because he comes from like Austria, but he definitely encapsulates the 80s, but not really that all-American for me. It's either Patrick Swayze or Kurt Russell. So, but the more important thing is I wanted to talk about how much of a genius Arnold Schwarzenegger is. So, in the 80s, he made tons of movies, but his biggest were Terminator, Commando, Predator, Red Heat, and he did Terminator 2. He did tons of movies in the 80s. So, Terminator paid him $75,000, and then next up was Commando with $2 million. and then Predator for $3.5 million, and then Red Heat for $8 million. There's a movie called. It was called. I gotta find out what it was actually called at first. It was called The Experiment. What do you think? What do you think The Experiment? It was a comedy. What do you think The Experiment actually ended up being called?
What year was this? Is it before or after all this?
1988. So it was after all the movies that I said. It wasn't called The Experiment, and it was a comedy.
Oh, a comedy.
It was a comedy.
Was it made in 88 or did it get pushed to a later year?
It was released in 88 and was made in 87.
Was it Kindergarten Cop?
No.
Kindergarten Cop was the 90s.
Well, my bad.
It wasn't Running Man. That was probably before all of his movies.
It wasn't Running Man.
I don't want to.
Running Man would have been one of his action
you.
movies.
Yeah. Oh, this is a comedy.
This was Twins. Yeah. So Ivan Reitman.
I was going to say Junior.
Ivan Reitman did Twins. Arnold and Ivan met at a ski resort, and Arnold said that he wanted to do a comedy, and Ivan didn't think he could. So over the next few days, they talked, and Ivan realized that he could do a comedy. So they went back to L.A., and Ivan sent him a few scripts, and Arnold picked out the best one, and it ended up being The Experiment. So Arnold wanted Danny to be involved, and then he talked to the executives for the movie company that was going to pay everybody, and Arnold immediately said that he did not want to be paid, and he did not want Ivan to be paid or Danny to be paid up front. He wanted everyone to own part of the movie. Mm-hmm. So so also this is when Reitman just came off of Ghostbusters, and Arnold just did Terminator, Red Sonja, Commando, Predator, Running Man. He is at the top of his game for the 80s. And then Danny is a well-known actor, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Terms of Endearment, Romance in the Stone. So they went on to strike a deal that would land the three the most money any of them have ever made on a single movie. And Arnold wanted 45% split between the three. And they would have rights to everything, TV rights, cable rights, merchandising, and then everything the movie made, and box offices. So then I want to say that Arnold made $30 million on Terminator 3, and that was in 2002 or 3, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah. That time for it, yeah.
So that was pretty. That was a pretty tall order to pay him $30 million, and because he was pretty old too. So, anyways,
that was one of his last movies, right? Before he became governor.
So yeah. So, but this made him between all three of them made $130 million each. So this was in '88. Wow. So, I think I did the. He brought in, Yep, $130 million, and then they were actually planning to do a Twins sequel. What would you think that would be called?
Oh no,
you got it. Come on, what would it's called? Triplets.
Triplets, yeah.
Was it?
And
so obvious.
The long lost brother is going to be Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy. I remember that one.
Oh, wow.
So I wanted to just talk about how much of a freaking genius Arnold was, because this was something that the movie industry was worried about paying, like what he would want, because he was at the top of his game. And he said, I don't want any money, blah, blah, blah. And they were super excited to not have to pay him any money, and they could put all their money to making sure the movie had a good release, had a good budget, was promoted correctly, and it paid off big time for him. So
he took gross, right? Not net?
Gross.
So he's still making money off the movie.
Yes.
Residuals and everything.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
so he's made more money off that one movie than he did his other movies?
Yes. He's made more money off of that. They say that this is the most any actor has ever been paid for one movie. It's a record high out of any of the actors.
Awesome.
So,
damn.
And you know how Arnold made his money in the beginning with real estate. He would win his Mr. Olympias make money off of that, he would buy like a 12 unit